For the iliocostalis muscle, what we want to do is essentially the exact same thing, only this time we're going to be adding a component of lateral flexion. So when we're training the left side, what we want to do is lie down in a prone position, so you're lying down on your stomach. Setup is exactly the same. Lower body's going to be... Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to be your own therapist by demonstrating the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction, and more specifically, I'm going to be teaching you how to correct thoracic scoliosis. Before I get on with the exercises, I first want to explain what exactly thoracic scoliosis is and why exactly you should care, and in order to do that, I'm going to need the help of my good friend, Johnny Bones. So Johnny, get over here and show your non-scoliotic spine to the camera. Scoliosis is when you develop a lateral flexion of the spine, and thoracic scoliosis is going to be a lateral flexion of the thoracic spine, and there are many ways in which it can present, but two of the most common ways are going to be with a C-curve and a reverse C-curve. When looking at the spine from behind, a C-curve, as the name implies, means there is going to be a C-shaped spine, and a reverse C-curve is, as the name implies, a reverse C, so it's going to be presenting out toward the right. And whenever you develop a scoliosis, you're going to have a convex side and a concave side to the scoliosis. The convex side, with regard to the C-shaped curve, is going to be the muscles on the left side of the actual spine, and then the concave side of the spine is going to be the muscles on the right. And if you don't address this issue, it can lead to a whole host of issues like neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, shoulder pain, low back pain, and a whole host of other issues. So you would want to address it immediately. And one of the ways in which we could address it would be to do some strengthening exercises for the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk, specifically on the convex side of the actual scoliosis. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing for you today. So without further ado, here are the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. With the exception of the first exercise, which is going to be a bilateral exercise, the final 4 exercises I'm going to be performing are all going to be on the left side. And the reason I'm doing it for the left is because these are going to be for a C-shaped scoliosis. So if you have a C-shape, these are going to be the exercises that you would want to do 3 sets of 50 on. And then if you have a reverse C, you would want to reverse it. So you would do the opposite side. But for the first exercise, the first strengthening exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be a strengthening exercise for the longissimus muscle. And specifically, we're going to be targeting the cephalic fibers. So the fibers closer to the thoracic spine and the cervical spine. For the longissimus exercise, we want to go ahead and we're going to lie down on our stomach. Then, from this position right over here, everything in the lower body is going to be nice and relaxed. And then we want to maintain retroversion of the pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown that away, eyes looking down. Our arms, we want to make a little diamond shape. We're going to rest our head over top. And then for this exercise, we want to make sure that we have a nice neutral spine to begin with. And all we're going to do is go into extension of the trunk. And this is the strengthening exercise for the longissimus muscle, specifically the cephalic fibers. Next, the second strengthening exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be for the iliocostalis muscle. And once again, we're going to be targeting the cephalic portion, meaning the fibers closer to the thoracic spine and the cervical spine. For the iliocostalis muscle, what we want to do is essentially the exact same thing, only this time we're going to be adding a component of lateral flexion. So when we're training the left side, what we want to do is lie down in a prone position, so you're lying down on your stomach. Setup is exactly the same. Lower body's going to be completely relaxed. Flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head away, eyes looking between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension. Arms, make a little bit of a diamond, and we're going to go ahead and rest our head on top. And then for this one, we're going to go into extension, and then we want to do a lateral flexion to the left. And this is the strengthening exercise for the iliocostalis muscle, specifically the cephalic portion. And that was for the left side. Next, the third strengthening exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be for the transversospinalis group. And once again, we're going to be targeting the cephalic portion, so the fibers closer to the thoracic spine and the cervical spine. Setup is going to be exactly the same. We're in a prone position, so we're laying down on our stomach. Everything in the lower body is relaxed. We got retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, our chin is tucked in, crown of the head is pushing away, our eyes are looking down between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension. Arms, you're going to put your hands in a diamond shape. And then for this one, we're going to go into negative torsion. What I mean by that is we are going to do a combination of extension and rotation. So to target the left side, we want to imagine that we're trying to bring our left shoulder toward our right hip. So we're extending and then rotating. And this is the strengthening exercise for the transversospinalis group, specifically the cephalic portion. Next, the fourth strengthening exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be for the external oblique. For the external oblique, this run right over here, we're going to be targeting the supra umbilical, meaning the fibers above the umbilicus. And for it, we're going to be in a supine position. What we want to do is we are going to go ahead, lay down on our stomach. We want to flex our knees to 90 degrees and keep them planted firmly on the floor. Then, with the contralateral arm, so the arm opposite to the side that we're stretching, we're going to take our hand and cup it over our shoulder. With the ipsilateral arm, so the hand of the side that we're stretching, we want to go ahead and go into extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulder, and then we're going to go on a diagonal so that our hand is projecting on the outside of our thigh. And then for this one, what we want to do is we're going to keep the chin tucked in, crown the head away, eyes up between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension. And then we want to do a combination of flexion with rotation. So we're going into positive torsion. So we're flexing, and then we want to make sure that we get that rotation in. And one important thing worth noting when we're doing the external oblique is we want to make sure that we cross the midline. And this is the strengthening exercise for the external oblique, specifically the supraumbilical fibers. Next, the fifth and final strengthening exercise for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis is going to be for the internal oblique. For the internal oblique, it's almost identical to the external oblique. The setup's going to be the same. You got the knees flexed to 90 degrees. Our feet are planted on the floor, retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head away, eyes looking between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension. With the contralateral arm, we're going to go ahead and cup it over our shoulder. With the ipsilateral arm for this one right over here, maximum extension elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulder. And then what we want to do for this one right over here is we're going to do a combination of lateral flexion, so we're going to flex toward the left, and then we're going to do trunk flexion. So we're going laterally flexing, and then we're flexing upward. And this is the strengthening exercise for the internal oblique, specifically the supraumbilical fibers. And one important thing worth noting for this exercise is we want to make sure that we do not cross the midline for this one. And there you have it. Those were the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. If you have thoracic scoliosis, or if you have issues with regard to neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, low back pain, shoulder pain, or anything else, go ahead and give those exercises a try. And then if you have given them a try, go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought. In terms of the actual programming for these exercises, what you want to do is 3 sets of 50 repetitions for each of the strengthening exercises, and that is going to be 5-0, not 1-5. The reason we're going so high with the repetitions is because we're trying to elicit a postural change. Whenever we're trying to elicit a postural change, one of the most important things is going to be accumulating enough time under tension. And if we do the typical 8 to 12 bodybuilding repetition rep range, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. So 3 sets of 50 repetitions specifically for the convex side. And then on the concave side, you would still want to do some strengthening, but not as much. Me personally, whenever I'm doing a scoliosis correction, I like to do anywhere from a 1-to-2 to a 1-to-3 ratio of strengthening exercises for convex side to concave. So for every 3 sets that I'm going to strengthen on the convex side, I'm going to do 1 to 2 sets on the concave side. It really depends on how bad the scoliosis is, but that's exactly what you want to do. And then on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m., I'm going to be demonstrating the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction to correct thoracic scoliosis. Those exercises, they are going to be a terrific complement to perform with these exercises that we just did today. So be out on the lookout for that this Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. And that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.